There it is, Alex Phillip. And the most interesting challenger is Will Anthony of Virginia. The Cavs need to score some points in this 10K too, and that's the most interesting showdown of this entire men's competition is the distance races, Virginia versus UNC. I'm calling this one 20 points for UNC, 6 for Virginia. But of course, it's a long way and many things can happen.
All right, going with Parker Wolf, who again is running this 10K for the very first time. Hard to believe, second the NCAA's indoors in the 3K, won the mile and 3K that Norm and I called up in Boston in the ACCs. So we'll see how he will do. Carter Solomon is the defending champ out of Canton, Michigan as well. He's in the mix too. Alex Phillip likely to contend, the native out of Akron, Ohio, went to the same high school as LeBron James, the D3 transfer from John Carroll.
Now, if you look back about 10 places, you'll see Notre Dame, hip number 33 on the outside, and he just crossed the finish line there. That is a young man named Carter Solomon. Yes. Carter Solomon has won this race. He's also won ACC cross country. You can't rule him out. He hasn't run a 10K this year either. So Wolf and Solomon are true wild cards in this, but they're also very capable of winning. So I talked to Coach Chris Miltenberg earlier today, and he said he was concerned about Solomon. He says, especially if it's too slow. On the other hand, he doesn't want Parker Wolf to have to run too fast, because he also was counting on Parker Wolf to maybe come up with a victory in the 5,000 just 2 days from now. So you think 10K is a long way, try 15K in 2 days.
Can Ehlers believe he's out in front? I just love the chuckle there from the Wake Forest runner there. Alex Phillip, by the way, holds the nation's best 10K time. That was established at the Brian Clay Invitational at 27:51.26.
Yeah, it's hard to believe a runner from northern Arizona doesn't have the fastest time.
Exactly.
But it all depends on where you're running it against who. But if Alex Phillip, what a great story he is. And, you know, when UNC won the men's title in cross country in the fall, Coach Chris Miltenberg, you know, let us all know that it was a combination of transfers. They had a guy from Indiana transfer too on that team. And the fact that he's kept guys around. So it's not like we're not just building a team, you know, with a transfer portal roster. We've gotten both. And he thinks that the influence of Phillip winning you know, Division III national title really brought a very positive mindset to the whole program. And whatever is working, it is working really well for the Tar Heels. They could win the 1500, the 5K, and the 10K in this meet. And if they do that, they're going to win their Triple Crown, which of course hasn't happened very often.
It's a really, really important point. Colton Sands as well for North Carolina in the mix. Finished 12th the ACC meet last year at 30:35.50. Run some very respectable distance races. Still Ehlers out in front very early. Durfels in second for Syracuse. Harari is in third. Miss Gina is in fourth for Florida State on the inside.
Now, as fast as Phillip has gone, #1 time in the country for NCAA purposes, 27:51. The second fastest time this season has been turned in by Will Anthony, the freshman at Virginia, 28:21.93. So that's a 30-second margin.
Yeah.
So it's probably hard for some people to imagine why we're not talking about Phillip and more about Parker Wolf. But if you've seen Parker Wolf race, you know why we think he has got the total package that he can win this 10K.
Now you bring up Anthony, and you know he has the 22nd best time nationally. That was run at the Raleigh Relays. That's just below that NCAA cut line at 28:17.15. Alex Meyer of Oklahoma State holds that. Again, that's the top 16 times. For those that don't know individually, you got the top 12 in the field events.
Actually, that's different outdoors, because outdoors you have a regional qualifying. So if you want to make the 10K, you got to do it at regionals. Right. And it's actually 12 from the east and 12 from the west.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so it's a little different format for outdoors. But right now, Ehlers continues to lead. Doesn't have quite as large a smile on his face. But what's interesting to me is to bring up that point is that they don't have to run hard here because all these guys are into regionals. They're safely into regionals.
Right.
Now what they have to do when regionals come in 2 weeks, they have to be ready on that day to run fast. So I would think Will Anthony's going to, if anything, chill a little bit. Now what's the complicating factor there is they need the team points.
Right.
So he can't chill too much. So a lot of things at play here when considering the 10K and the strategies these coaches are going to tell their athletes to run. Will Anthony wears hip 2, and as you can see, he's not even up near the front right now. He's buried back a little bit further because there he is. He's in about 10th in the orange and blue. Is wearing hip 2 is Will Anthony. He's just going to chill. This is very, very early days in this race. The time for the 1,600 meters, 4:51.71, so barely under 5-minute pace. And these guys can run 4:30 a mile if really pressed. At least the best ones can.
So we're just getting underway here in the 10K with Gavin Ehlers out in front. Silas Durfels in second. Harari is in third for Syracuse. More to come. Part of this 25-lap race. We're going to crown our first champion in the midst of the 10K. We're going to crown a champion here with one of our running events. Ehlers still out in front, has led for the last couple of laps for Wake Forest with Durfel in second. O'Donnell is in third. In case you're wondering, Parker Wolf is running in this. He's on the inside right now behind a bevy of distance runners, running the first 10K in his career. Very decorated for North Carolina.
Still very early. We have not even hit the 2-mile yet. So plenty of time for this all to sort out. The positive news for all these 10K runners is the weather conditions. You can be down here in Atlanta and it can be really thick with the humidity and heat. And tonight it's beautiful weather to run a 10K. The track is completely void of sun at this point. There's still blue skies above, but the heat has definitely melted away. We are probably sub 70 degrees. Now that's still fairly warm, but for Atlanta it could be, you know, high 80s and 90% humidity. So this is good stuff. And again, you got to balance that with the fact that most of these guys are already qualified for regionals. And again, the interesting thing is in terms of that big team title battle, it's Virginia versus UNC very much. And right now, Virginia's got a bunch of guys.
And
Will
Anthony
Syracuse
also in the mix, too, that we highlighted early on from New Zealand.
Paul O'Donnell of Syracuse is running third right now. He's been a great runner for the Cuse all throughout his career, including in cross country and the indoor 5K. There now into like 5th place is Will Anthony of Virginia. Second fastest time coming in. And the guy I've assigned 6 points to before the race. I think he's got a great shot at getting third in this thing.
He has been kind of in that top 5 throughout this start. And the last couple of miles.
And we just saw in the last 5 seconds Parker Wolf for the first time. There he is on the very inside wearing hip number. Now I can't see him again, but he's on the way inside. He's wearing a headband. Okay, O'Donnell taking some liquid. This is the first time we've seen guys go to the water, and they were 9:49 at 2 miles. So again, barely under 5-minute pace, but they are a third of the way through the race now.
Yeah, Wolf is 16, by the way. Still Ehlers out in front.
I saw the 6. The
No,
16
I
makes sense. There
away.
he is.
Yep.
Parker Wolf just behind the Florida State runner and inside of the NC State runner. And there he is, Parker Wolf.
I love the communication, though. And you saw it with a great shot by our crew there. Durfel talking with O'Donnell, both distance runners from Syracuse here, part of this tactical race. But Ehlers just setting the tone here. Do you expect Ehlers to rabbit in this situation?
I don't think he's rabbiting. I think he's trying to run a fast enough race to perhaps get him into the regional. What's Ehlers' time coming in? We'll get that for you in a second. Ehlers has run 29:52. He probably needs to run a little bit faster to get into the regional meet. And sometimes, you know, the best chance is to just go out there and run unimpeded. And, you know, he has to, I'll tell you what, he's going to have to run faster.
Just making it an honest race, right,
Yeah,
on this
yeah.
backstretch.
Yeah.
I like it.
And you know, he is just a sophomore, so little short on the experience side compared with some of these other guys who are have more confidence in biding their time and kicking. I would not expect to see Ehlers at the end of this thing in the top 5 or 6 spaces. There's probably going to be a lot of guys chasing past them. And the race really begins probably about 4 miles.
Right.
So, you know, in the last 2, they'll cruise pretty hard.
Wolf still hanging on to that inside.
Yeah, I would say a better word than hanging on is he's cruising
he knows.
on the inside.
Meaning he's holding that positioning.
Yeah. Right, yeah, exactly. He's fine. He looks super comfortable. Looks like he could probably close his eyes for a few laps and wake up and be just fine. His teammate out behind him, yes, that's 5'11" is Wolf, and 498 is Phillip there in about 12th and 13th place right now.
Miss Gina falling behind on the inside for Florida State. Ehlers still out in front. Durfel in second for Syracuse. As Norm mentioned, O'Donnell as well, strong distance runner. He is in third. He's flipped from the inside and back to the outside, right behind Ehlers' left shoulder.
And now we're seeing from Notre Dame for the first time, that's Robert Kosian. He's a junior for the Fighting Irish. Getting up there with Carter Solomon right behind him. In fact, Solomon and Wolf are right next to each other. And a couple years back at the ACC Cross Country Championships, it came down to Wolf and Solomon, and Solomon outkicked Wolf. That's probably not going to happen today, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. We could see that. We'll continue the 10K. On the other side from Atlanta, going to crown a champion here. One of the running events. Norm, great stuff. Still in the midst of the 10K. And by the way, North Carolina has taken the lead. Parker Wolf has jumped up into second. Alex Phillip, as expected, is out in front. Holds the nation's best 10K time established at the Brian Clay Invitational. So it's Phillip and Wolf 1-2. Ehlers has dropped in the third. Remember, he was leading for what? The first 4 miles of this race.
Yep. You know, these guys are really, really good. The front 2 are the 2 we expect to be up in the front when all is said. Now the question is, can Will Anthony, who's in 6th right now, move into that 3rd spot? This can be so big for UNC. And you see they got their 3rd guy running in about 7th right now. Oh, a fall.
Somebody tumbled right in front of us.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to take down the Florida State kid, but he managed to stay on his feet. And that kid, by the way, this Kiddis Masinga, Florida State, the junior.
That last lap, by the way, 1:08.54. Even Wolf and Phillip to take the lead. Here's Wolf on the outside, and Phillip says, go ahead, Parker. And Parker Wolf, for the first time in the 10K final, takes the lead.
Yeah, this won't be likely any kind of major move here. He's just probably tired of running in the pack, wanted to get out for a little bit. O'Donnell's still right there.
He's hanging on.
Ehlers is still hanging over. Look, Carter Solomon in the 5th now. And that's probably the last guy Wolf wants to see in his debut 10K is Carter Solomon. 10
laps to go. Again, part of 25 laps for this 10K to crown a champion here on day 1 of the ACC Championships. It is Parker Wolf, followed by Phillip. O'Donnell is in 3rd. Here comes a move by Carter Solomon on that outside to this backstretch.
Right behind Solomon is Will Anthony. So all the leading men in this event are up there, although McGoey of NC State, he's run 29.02, also in there. And Ehlers continues to be a factor, so quite exciting here what's going on in this 10K. Not particularly fast up to this point, but the weather's great, and there's a lot of run left in these guys. Parker Wolf's going, oh yeah, 10K, I'm familiar with this. They do it in runs all the time.
Yeah, the first time, though, he's running the 10K here collegiately. Phillip is in 2nd. O'Donnell is in 3rd. Carter Solomon looks like he is in 5th, though. Ehlers, as Norm mentioned, holding on to that inside position on the rail, and now getting into 3rd, it looks like. We'll take another timeout, and it is Parker Wolf who is out in front. His teammate, Alex Phillip, is in 2nd. We'll continue the 10K.
Lease the Tucson for $269 a month, or get up to $2,000 bonus cash on the Tucson Hybrid. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer.
In the midst of 8 laps to go in the men's 10K final here in day 1 of the ACC Outdoor Championships, Phillip is in front for North Carolina, followed by Parker Wolf. Paul O'Donnell is in third. What are you making of Wolf and Phillip kind of flip-flopping for the lead as we were in the commercial break?
Oh, they're just working as teammates together. That hip number 1 on Phillip is symbolic of his position on the national list at 10K, 27:51:26. Wolf, his first ever 10K on the track. Then right behind him, you have O'Donnell, longtime 10K ace for Syracuse. Now moving into third, wearing hip number 25. That's John Malik of NC State.
Wow.
He's all of a sudden come way up. We haven't seen him near the front for this race, and now he's in there, and here comes Carter Solomon.
Solomon gaining ground on Malik.
And
trying to get into third. It looks like Carter does get into third behind Phillip and Wolf, who's out in front.
Will Anthony in fourth. Solomon in fifth.
Phillip holding on to second.
This is a classic 10K, let me tell you. Wolf, Phillip, Malik, Anthony, Solomon.
Now tell me about the positioning, though, Norm, of Phillip here to kind of fight off Malik, who's in third, and Anthony behind him in fourth. What is Alex Phillip doing here to aid Parker Wolf?
I'm not sure he's trying to aid Parker Wolf. I just think he's trying to stay with Parker Wolf. That would be his goal.
Okay.
If I can stay with Parker Wolf, I'm going to beat everybody else.
That's true, too.
I think that's really the honest way to say it. But I think John Malik is an inspired runner right here. His best is 29:53, and he's hanging with these guys. I mean, look, Wolf, we know, is capable of running sub 28. Phillip has run sub 28, and Will Anthony, who's also in that pack, has run 28:20. And here's this Malik, this 29:53 guy. What is he doing in there? He is not scared. He's with 3 of the best 10K runners in the country, showing that Wolfpack pride.
And here comes the move by Anthony to scurry into third, Norm.
As you would expect, we got the top 3 now we thought we were going to get. That is exactly what I had coming into this race. Wolf, Phillip, Anthony. But Malik, didn't have that. And now there's a gap between the rest of the pack. Solomon and company, O'Donnell, those guys are not in this thing. It's a 3-man race, the 3 guys we thought.
5 laps to go.
Yes, 2K remaining. They just went through 8K in 23:53, so they picked it up considerably that last lap. Will Anthony ran 64.9. Wolf and Phillip both running 65 seconds. In fact, they are so in sync as teammates. This is the second time we've seen their lap split identical to 100th of a second.
Looks like they're going to lap Coleman as well as he turns around for Georgia Tech and sees Phillip and Wolf bustling forward.
Yeah, well, there'll be other lapping going on before this is over.
Yep.
But we are down. When they come around, there'll be 1 mile to go, or 1,600 meters to be more precise. Phillip, Wolf, Anthony. If you're not a distance fan, perhaps you're not as excited as I am, but this is a great race shaping up. 3 guys all right with the ability to run around 28 minutes. They're not going to run that tonight, but man, they're going to race for this. And remember, the team implications are right here. UNC 1-2, Virginia 3. Virginia can still win a team title if they can hang on to third here. If Anthony could split those 2 UNC guys, big plus for Virginia. If somehow Will Anthony could win, a huge plus for Virginia. But right now, Phillip there just shaking his hands loose. That's the first sign we've seen of Phillip getting tired. And Wolf saw it, and Wolf now moves to the lead.
Wolf out in front, followed by Phillip. Will Anthony, who broke the UVA record for over 20 seconds in the 10K at the Raleigh Relays earlier, 28:21:93, is in third. Parker Wolf still leading and lapping a slew of runners.
Wolf.
In his
Phillip.
first 10K.
Yeah.
No surprise, though, to us that he is out in front.
Wolf, Phillip, and Anthony. Again, you know,
3 to go.
if there wasn't the team title at stake between Virginia and UNC, this would be a lot less dramatic. And now Wolf's really starting to pull away on this lap. His last lap, another 65. All three of them ran 65 in the last lap, but now Wolf has visibly picked up the tempo. He may be dropping it down to 63 on this circuit. But if it wasn't for the team title, these three guys would probably just be kind of chilling at this point, you know, because they have their regional marks. If they want to run 10K at regionals and NCAAs, they can do that. But, man,
look at the separation, though, here,
Wolf, we knew this was going to happen. Wolf, the best distance runner in the ACC this year, moving up to 10K. If you remember at Boston, when he had the ability to go to nationals in either the mile or the 3,000 and the 5,000, we asked him what is he going to run, and he surprised us, I thought, at least. Oh, I'm going to try the 5K. And now he's running the 10K. He has just moved up and up. But again, with his stupendous cross-country running, this really can't surprise anybody.
Final 800 to go here for Parker Wolf to be crowned an ACC outdoor champion here in the 10K for the first time.
And this will be his 4th ACC title in one school year. Cross-country, mile, 3K, 10K here, and he's got a great shot at the 5K on Saturday. That could be 5 individual titles in the ACC in 1 year. You'd have to go a long way back to find somebody as dominant in this conference. It's not like the ACC is a slack distance conference. It's one of the best. Parker Wolf.
But a lot of folks in the Denver area cheering for Parker Wolf, a 5-time state champion, and bringing that pedigree to North Carolina as well.
Just destroying the field. Coming up on the bell lap for Parker Wolf.
And just marvel at the final 400 for Parker Wolf. On his way to winning the 10K.
He went 62.71.
ACC Men's Cross Country Athlete of the Year a couple years ago. He's been strong at the NCAAs, the 3K second in indoors, 5th in the NCAA outdoors as well. By the way, North Carolina in 3rd with Phillip.
Will Anthony into 2nd. There you see Will Anthony hit number 2 for Virginia.
Great race from him, too.
And again, this is a very positive thing for Virginia in their quest to hang on to Tar Heels. There'll be other showdowns in the 1,500 and the 5,000, but this was the first one. And I was expecting a 1-2 UNC finish. Instead, it's going to be UNC, Virginia, UNC.
Parker Wolf looking back and seeing where Phillip is probably in 3rd. Anthony still holding on to 2nd, but the story tonight in his first 10K, congratulations to Parker Wolf of the Tar Heels, gets another ACC championship.
He ran 62.7 on his penultimate lap, 64.8 to close when he had it more than wrapped up. Will Anthony closed in 60.97, the fastest last lap of the field. Will Anthony, 62nd last quarter, last 400 meters for Virginia.
And then Phillip.
Alex Phillip closing in 65.3. He ran 29.23.
இந்த காரில் உள்ளது எல்லாத்தையுமே இங்கே மாற்ற போகிறானுங்க. அந்த காரில் உள்ளது எல்லாத்தையுமே இங்கே மாட்டிட்டானுங்க. ரேடியேட்டரும் மாட்டிட்டானுங்க.